Hi, it's Nick. I decided to run some of my post-war engines, and this particular one that you see, I purchased that from my wife's nephew. His name is Steve. He had a couple of the post-war engines and also rolling stock, and I liked them, so I purchased it from him. So I figured I'd just run this particular one in the video. But before I do, I just want to go over the engine, and then I'll go over the tender that came with it. I'll just move the tender out of the way for a moment. Now the engine and the tender, I looked up in the Greenberg train book. They were made between 1948 and 49, and it's a cast iron steam locomotive, as you can see. And it's a 2-4-2 engine, and it has some detail on the wheels. The front one really doesn't, it's plain, but the drive wheels and the back wheel have these spokes, which is in the cast of the wheel. And then you have your connecting rods, and you can see the rods open to push the wheels. And it has some detail. As I mentioned, you have the piston, and then you have a pipe in here that brings the steam down into it, and you have another cylinder up in this area. Here's your firebox, and it has some rivet detail, and it has some pipe work coming down, as you can see here. And it has on the cab, the side of the cab, the number is 1655, and it has windows but no glass in it. And it has some rivet detail in this area. Now as we go to the front of the engine, I'll just push it back, see if I can get you to see the front of it. It has the cow catcher up in here, and it has little work in this area, and it's a flat surface right in here. And then you have your marker lights. Now usually they have like a colored glass, usually green, but they're not on this particular engine. Now whether it fell before I purchased it, they came off, or they just didn't manufacture it with it. You have your headlight, which does operate, and then you have the access door in the rear wall that would open up, and you would clean the boiler tubes. But it does have hinges, and it has bolts, as you can see here. And then to the left of it, you have your steps, and it goes along this platform, and it's the same on the opposite side. Now I'll bring this up a little bit so we can see a little bit better than this. Like I mentioned, the steps, and then you can go along this platform. It does have a handrail, and it's not molded, so it has a handrail here, and it has one on the other side, and it has a nameplate, and it says built by Lionel Corporation. And then it has some pipe work down in this area and over in here. Then when we go to the top of the engine, you have your stack, but this unit does not have a smoke unit. I wish it did, but they didn't put one in. Then it has a bell, and that's not part of the cast. They secured it onto the cast. Then you have your sand dome, and it has a little hatch here. But again, everything I'm showing you, it's part of the cast. And then you have some lines coming down from it. Then you have another little piece in here. And then going on to the over the cab, the roof of the cab, you have some detail in here. Then you have the hatches. In the rear wheel it would slide, but this doesn't, of course. And everything I mentioned on this side is the same on the other side. But I'll tell you one thing I found very interesting. And I'm going to pick it up and show you the inside of the cab. They did a lot of nice little detail as far as the inside of the cab, and it's all molded, of course, but I hope you can see this. See, I pick it up. Over here is your firebox, and in here you have gauges, and you have a hand here, and you have some knobs here. And then on the other side, you have some more knobs, and you have a lever here. It might be the brake. And I thought that was very nice, the way they did it. And it's a cast, of course, but they did a nice little workmanship there. And then the next thing, to connect the engine to the coal tender, there's this rod here. I think you can see it. And it's a 90-degree angle. And on the coal tender, I'll bring it up, you have another piece of metal, and it has a slot. And that's where this 90-degree piece just drops in there, and it connects the engine to the coal tender, and it can pull and push it. Well, I'll do the coal tender now. Just take it up here. Oh, there's one other thing I want to tell you about the engine. I forgot. The engine itself on the bottom, the pickups, they're not rollers. They're a piece of copper, metal. It is spring-loaded, though, but that's what it is. It's not a roller. And then on it, it says, see if we can get it. I don't know if you can see it, but it says, made in the USA of America, the Lino Corporation, New York. So this particular engine was made in New York City. So I'll just put it back on. I just wanted to show you that. And now here's the coal tender. As I mentioned, it's not plastic. It's all sheet metal. And even the base of it is all sheet metal. The trucks are cast, and it has the bearings here, bearing caps, and the little spring, but it's all in the cast, both of them. And it does have a mechanical whistle in it, and when we run it, I'll blow it. And then it has a operating coupler right here, and you can open it up manually, or you can open it up when you go over the operating track and hit the button, and she'll magnetize and pull it down, and then this will open because there's a little spring in there, and it just pops it out. Also, I want to show you the bottom. I thought this was interesting. Now this one, it does have rollers right in here, but yet the Locomotive didn't have it. And it has a number underneath. It says 6654W. I thought that was interesting that the coal tender has the rolling caps, but not the engine. Anyway, and I'll just demonstrate to you how it just hooks right into it, like so. Drops right in, and then you pick it up, and then you can pull it, and you can push it. And you notice the wheels, that when I'm moving it, it spins. So that tells me that this is not operated with a worm gear on the motor, because if it was, when I push it, the wheels won't turn, it'll just slide. So I guess they either couldn't fit it in there, or that's another way of cutting down the cost between the smoke unit and the worm-driven gear. The cars that it'll be pulling are all from the 50s and 60s. And what we have here is a black gondola sorry about that, which is Pennsylvania. Then you have the Erie crane, and it has Lionel on it. And then the work caboose is Locomotive. But we'll get it going. I'll put the power on. And, oh, you know, there is another thing I wanted to mention to you. On my old post-war engines, what I do to make give it more traction, I put those tire traction tires that come with the new diesels and steam engines, and I only have one left, so I just put it on the opposite side, the back wheel, but the opposite side of the engine. And it really helps it to, you know, with the traction of the train, especially if I have a couple more cars on. But you'll notice the wheels will not spin. They'll just grab the track and it'll take right off. But anyway, let me just put the power on. That's what I want. I want to blow the whistle. Well, let's not forget this was built in 1948 or 49, but not bad. I'll see which way she's going to go, forward or reverse. Forward, well. But did you notice the wheels didn't spin? I can make it go fast, and they're really not spinning. It's that traction tire. It really works pretty good. And then I'll let it go slow. See that? Add more. I'll let it go around one more time. Just wanted to share it with you. I know a lot of fellas out there do like to see the post-war engines running around, because I certainly do. Every so often I'll put one on. As a matter of fact, the way I have my layout set up, I can run this particular engine and run my legacy engines at the same time. I did make a video of it, so if you're interested, I made one video showing you how I wired it to a wiring diagram, and then I actually showed it in operation. Anyway, I'm going to end it in a few minutes. I hope you fellas are enjoying it, because I really enjoy watching it and making the video. I'm going to stop the engine now. Okay, so you fellas have a great time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care now. Bye.